What if the biggest mystery of the F1 season has absolutely nothing to do with upgrades, race speed, or tire tactics, but everything to do with what is not being revealed? Lewis Hamilton's first year in red means business, but for all the wrong reasons. 0 wins, 0 podiums, and not a hint of that fairy tale title challenge supporters had dared dream about. And now even Fernando Alonso is shouting the alarm. And his warning is sharper than any lap time could ever possibly be. So let's talk about what is really going on at Ferrari. Or, at least, what is being discreetly hidden behind closed doors. When Hamilton joined Ferrari, it felt like the perfect script for Hollywood. 7-time champion towards the end of his career, joining F1's best team in a bid to secure an 8th title. But now, 10 races into it, that scenario has been flipped on its head. To date, 1 Chinese sprint win and 4th place at Imola. Good, maybe. Legendary, not anywhere close. Hamilton beaten by teammate Charles Leclerc, a driver with the advantage in nearly every department: qualifying, racecraft, championship points. And when Lewis does open his mouth, it's never a matter of the setup being manipulated or woeful race weekends. It's spin. There's a lot of things that have to change in the system. I wish I could tell you what's going on. There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes. That's not an irked driver griping about tire life. That's someone implying something a whole lot deeper: structural issues, internal politics, technical ugliness, a cultural disconnect. And the worst part? No one on the outside is sure. And that uncertainty? That's what's ringing alarm bells. And if anyone knows the pressure cooker that is Ferrari, it's Fernando Alonso. He was just agonizingly close to a championship with the Scuderia well over a decade ago. He knows the mayhem, he knows the hype, and he knows the agony of getting so close yet so far. Even he's baffled by what's going on with Hamilton. What's wrong with him? I have no idea, Alonso answered. It's difficult to provide an opinion without knowing all. Alonso, however, has witnessed something others are beginning to put together. Hamilton's struggles at Ferrari don't look that different from his final years at Mercedes. Then it was George Russell beating him regularly. Now, Leclerc. Same story, different colors. Last year, it was difficult to drive the Mercedes, and Russell was more comfortable, Alonso said. This year, same seems to be. The implication is faint if the vehicle is not Hamilton's type, and if his voice is being drowned out in the background. Then perhaps the problem lies not with Hamilton. But even Alonso hesitates from making a judgment, because like the rest of us, he's outside looking in. Now here's where things get real. What if I told you the man in charge of Ferrari's F1 team is walking a fine line, and every move he makes for the next few races may determine his fate? Behind closed doors, the pressure is building. The board is waiting. And Fred Vasseur knows all about that. But the twist here is, he's not quitting. He's asking for one thing: time. When Vasseur took over the Ferrari F1 program reins at the start of 2023, the challenge was simple: bring order, bring constancy, bring wins. And to his credit, he did it, even notched up race wins in a Red Bull-helmed year. But fast forward to 2025, and the setting is different. Despite signing Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari has begun the season sluggishly. The preseason hype, gone. Podiums, rare. The constructors' battle, now a 3-way one for third. And now, Vasseur's job is under threat back at Maranello. One fiery Italian report claims that he's been given an ultimatum: 3 Grands Prix, Canada, Austria, and Silverstone, to save his job. And here's where things get really juicy. Ferrari have already made approaches to Christian Horner. The Red Bull boss declined. Now, eyes are turning toward Antonello Coletta, the man currently dominating the WEC with Ferrari's 499P. But Vasseur isn't playing defense. He's firing back. Amid the media storm, his message to Sky Italia was clear, direct, and ice cold. Journalists don't decide who gets replaced. He said this kind of talk just throws the whole team into the mud. He insists that his own position isn't the issue. The team's environment and performance are, while there's talk that Ferrari might simply let his contract expire at the end of the year. He isn't panicking, we have time. Vassar shrugged. There's time, even Formula One. CEO and former Ferrari team boss, Stefano Domenicali, felt compelled to step in. Speaking to Leip, Dominic gave a rare public endorsement. He is doing a great job. I told him personally, and I'll say it here. I believe in him. His advice, tune out the noise and keep building. But time, that one thing Vassar says he has, is running out fast in Formula One. Ferrari has dropped to third in the standings. Mercedes is charging, Red Bull remains in the mix, and the pressure from the boardroom is only getting louder. Can Vassar survive the firestorm and finish what he started? What if I told you the most explosive radio message from the Canadian Grand Prix never made it to TV? And it could totally flip how we see the clash that took Lando Norris out of the race. This wasn't just a racing incident. This was two teammates, title contenders, and one brutal moment that's already sent shockwaves through McLaren, and now even Red Bull is getting pulled into the drama as Norris and Piastri thundered down the main straight lane. In the Canadian GP, contact between the McLaren duo sent Norris flying into the wall and out of the race. Viewers saw the crash. They saw Norris take the blame, and they saw the post-race hug. But here's what they didn't hear on broadcast. Red Bull's race engineer, Jean Piero Lambiase, was quick on the radio to Max Verstappen, and he didn't blame Norris. Piastri put Norris onto the grass and into the wall. Lambis told Verstappen, moments after the incident. His tone was clear in real time. It sounded like Piastri was the one at fault. That's a very different take from what Verstappen himself said later. And from the consensus that formed publicly backstage, Norris took full responsibility, calling it stupid and apologizing to his team. But the fact that even within Red Bull there was a moment of uncertainty, that's the twist no one saw coming. Just when you thought the Norris pass drama was cooling off, the Verstappen-Russell rivalry was heating back up. Verstappen and Russell had their own tense subplot in Canada, a moment behind the safety car, where Max briefly overtook Russell, and Russell immediately radioed it in. Max, not missing a beat, fired back, calling out Russell for dropping too far behind the safety car. Both drivers knew exactly what was at stake. Verstappen was on the edge of a race ban, and Russell's cheeky comment post-qualifying, "I've got a few more points on my license to play with now," feels a whole lot more strategic. Red Bull filed a formal protest, accused Russell of erratic driving, accused him of dropping more than the permitted 10 car lengths, accused him basically of setting a trap. The stewards didn't agree. Russell kept his win, but the fire between Max and George is now back at full flame. Even Jacques Villeneuve, never one to hold back, weighed in on the Piastri-Norris crash. His take, Piastri's move was nasty. Nudging Norris left just enough to cause chaos inside McLaren. There are questions inside Red Bull. There's tension and heading into Austria, Red Bull's home turf.